Hello adventurers, my name is Chance, welcome to my Spellbook, and thank you so much for taking a look at the 73rd episode of our Feat series. Today we're going to be looking at Gunner, which was found in the Tasha's Cauldron of Everything book, and I don't know, guns have always been kind of a touchy issue in 5e, simply because a lot of players want to use them, and to some extent they are technically lore friendly, so yeah, and there's a bunch of charts in the DMG for them. That being said, most DMs don't allow them because they're kind of clunky at best, and a lot of players don't necessarily see the full benefit of them. That being said, however, this feat goes a long way towards making it somewhat possible, so hats off for that. And also, as a side note, I'm having like a bunch of snow and ice removed out front of my place right now, and it's loud as heck. I was waiting quite some time for them to kind of finish up and go away, but they are taking their sweet time, and it looks like at the rate they're going, they might like legitimately be here all day. Oh man. Oh well, in any case, if you're like some beeping in the background or some rumbling, that's what's going on there. Just as a quick heads up, thought I'd let you guys know. In any case, let's move on to the description of Gunner. So first and foremost, you gain a +1 to Dexterity. You also gain proficiency with Firearms. You ignore the loading property of Firearms, and being within 5 feet of a hostile creature doesn't impose disadvantage on your ranged attack rolls. This honestly reads quite a bit like Crossbow Expert, which I mean, kind of makes sense, of course. That being said, however, guns, once again in 5e, have this weird, almost taboo about them. Not a lot of dungeon masters I know use firearms, and those that do use them to a limited and almost kind of nerfed capacity, which is interesting because looking through the examples provided in the DMG, they don't seem to be particularly good as far as I can tell. Although I don't know, maybe I'd have to use them to really say for sure. In any case, let's move on to its walkthrough. So this is actually a relatively simple feat, which is nice. You get a +1 to Dexterity. No disadvantage while within 5 feet of a hostile creature, which is pretty huge, and while using Firearms, you ignore the loading property and you also gain proficiency with them. Really nice overall, I like it. That being said, however, is it worth the feat investment? I don't know. In your world, if you have guns and if you want to RP that up, then yeah, I guess so. But looking at the guns mechanically, man, I don't know. When you look at the damage output of a lot of these guns, and then you look at the cost associated with them, at least in terms of the Renaissance items, they're not that great, and the modern items, they're assumed to be priceless. So, I don't know. When I really look at it, I don't 100% think it'd be worth it outside of RP. That being said, however, if you are in a world where there's a lot of guns and one of your players is like a rogue or a range, some kind of range-based character, you might want to consider just giving them this feat just out of the gate. It probably makes sense with the world you constructed and with their background. That being said, however, that's purely a call for the dungeon master to make. Now let's get on to my personal thoughts. I already kind of went over all the points I wanted to cover. Really, I think it's here for more of a easy transition into potentially including guns. Maybe Wizards of the Coast is thinking about bringing out a gunslinger variant of their own, and this feat is kind of a transition to do so. Maybe they were just listening to public demand over it. Although, in almost every game circle I've been in, there's usually only like one player who wants to bring up Firearms, and the DM usually nerfs it to a point where it's not really relevant by making it so that animals or creatures rather within a set amount of range become aware of your presence, and as soon as you fire it you automatically fail any stealth checks, stuff like that. Which I think is a little bit unfair because the DMG's examples are pretty balanced as far as I can tell. That being said, however, maybe you disagree, maybe you see some other uses for this. That being said, let me know down beneath in the comment section. Be sure to mention any thoughts, questions, comments, or concerns you have. And of course, if you have any build ideas or concept characters, let me know down beneath. And if you'd like to get access to your free one-shot, just use code WELCOME over at the guild hall to get yours. That being said, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and as always, happy adventuring.